Hi, I'm Ryan with the R&R Law Group, and today we're talking about a very special circumstance that comes up in Maricopa County in the felony cases, and it's called the fast track option. What it is it's a 28-day fast track. So what happens in cases like this, and again, this only happens in felonies, generally a person who is given a fast track option, and this is not a good option. This is not something where you're lucky if this is something that you get. It's often a very bad choice. You have to choose very, very quickly between what's a bad option and what potentially could be an even worse option. A person who gets this option is generally someone who has prior felony convictions, someone who's been through the system a couple of times, may have been to prison before, and what happens then is that this option is an option to sign a plea agreement very, very quickly for a substantial number of years in prison. So here's what happens. You get your summons in the mail, you go to court, your very first court hearing, the initial arraignment, and they present you with the 28-day fast track option. So it's a one-page sheet of paper that tells you you're assigned to the fast track, and this is your plea offer. Okay? Where you're at there, that's going to be day one. That's your initial court date. Okay, you can continue it a week to kind of decide what you want, but if you decide that you may entertain the fast track offer, what happens is you waive your preliminary hearing. So there's a probable cause determination that you're saying, I'll give that up, and then they set an arraignment hearing 28 days later or about 28 days later, and that's where you have to choose, am I going to take this plea offer or am I not? Okay, and that's why they call it 28-day fast track offer, because you basically have about 28 days to decide whether or not you're going to take the offer. As I mentioned before, this offer is not something where it's a quick probation offer. You have to decide that and go. Usually what this means is that you're going to sign up for a substantial amount of prison time, it's 5, 6, 7 years at a minimum. And if you take that plea offer, the day you sign the plea, you're going into custody. Okay? You'll sit in custody for 30 days awaiting sentencing, and then you get shipped off to the Department of Corrections. All right, this is something that you have to take very serious. It's something that you should definitely consult with an attorney, have a long sit-down information session. This is not something where you want to just start looking for free consultations. You may want to pay to sit down with an attorney to go over your options, because again, you have 30 days or less to decide, is this something that I'm going to sign up and sign up for a long prison sentence? Why would somebody do this? Well, we've had the sentencing video where we talk about the mandatory sentencing guidelines in Arizona. The reason being is because the difference between maybe a fast track offer and the presumptive sentence on a class 2 felony with one prior felony conviction is 9.25 years. Whereas if you go to trial and lose, you're looking at 15 3/4. What happens though is with these offers, generally you may be looking at an even longer prison sentence than that. So you could be looking at a 15-year, an 18-year, a 20-year prison sentence, whereas the fast track offer then offers you less time in prison, but you really have a very, very quick turnaround time in which you have to make that decision. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office says that if you do not take that option, you better be prepared to go to trial, because that's the only other options you're getting. Very unlikely that you're going to get another plea agreement absent a big change in circumstances. The Maricopa County Attorney policy is that if you don't take the plea offer, the next offer is going to be substantially harsher. So you need to be fully prepared that if you're not taking that fast track offer, you're ready to go to trial. You need to have a team ready to go for you that's preparing for trial, because the only way you're going to get a better plea offer is to show that there is a substantial change in the case and that those factors weigh heavily in your favor. That's the only way that you're going to get a better plea offer. That's the only chance that you're going to have at avoiding prison time. And if that plea offer doesn't come, then your team's going to be ready for trial. So again, if you find yourself in a situation where you're at that 1 week period where you have to decide whether you're going to waive your preliminary hearing and be set for that arraignment and then make the big decision, I urge you to contact our office, get a time, come in, let's sit down, let's talk, let's go over all of your options. This is will be probably one of the biggest decisions you ever have to make in your life, because we're talking about years of your future. So give our office a call. If you're stuck in the 28-day fast track, we'll sit down, we'll point you in the right direction.